In a quiet town, two high school students, Alex and Ben, were preparing for their final exams, which would determine their university admissions. Both were smart and capable, but they had very different approaches to studying. Their history teacher, Mr. Clark, gave them a challenging assignment. Your task is to learn everything you can about the American Civil War. This will be a major part of your exam. I want you to truly master the material. Alex was determined to get a perfect score. That very night, he began his mission. He created hundreds of flashcards with dates, names, and battle locations. He spent hours staring at his textbook, highlighting entire paragraphs and repeating facts to himself until he could recite them from memory. After 2 weeks, he could list every major general and the date of every significant battle. He felt completely prepared and spent the days before the exam relaxing, confident he had already won. If you're enjoying this story so far, you'll love the animated versions on my channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for visual stories that bring these lessons to life. Ben, on the other hand, felt overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information. He didn't start with memorization. Instead, he went to the library and took out books that weren't on the required reading list. He read personal letters from soldiers and speeches by politicians. He watched documentaries that explained the complex economic and social causes of the war, not just the events. He drew timelines to see how one event caused another. He even debated the ethical dilemmas with his friends at lunch. His progress seemed slow, and his notes were a messy collection of questions and connections, not neat lists of facts. The day of the exam arrived. The first section was multiple choice, filled with specific dates and names. Alex flew through it, smiling. Ben worked carefully, but some of the obscure details were tricky. Then they turned to the final page. The essay question was, "The Civil War was not merely a conflict over slavery, but a clash of economies and visions for America's future. Discuss and defend this statement using specific examples." Alex's heart sank. His flashcards had facts, but no analysis. He knew when the Battle of Gettysburg happened, but not why it was a turning point, or how it reflected the broader economic strengths of the North and South. He struggled to form an argument, his mind filled with disjointed data. He wrote a vague, shaky essay. Ben read the question and felt a surge of energy. This was exactly what he had explored. He understood how the industrial North and the agrarian South had developed different needs. He could explain how tariffs and states' rights were intertwined with the moral issue of slavery. His pen flew across the paper as he built a compelling, well-supported argument, connecting all the dots he had patiently worked to understand. A week later, Mr. Clark returned the graded exams. Alex had scored well on the multiple choice but failed the essay. Ben had aced the essay and done well enough on the multiple choice to earn the top grade in the class. Mr. Clark addressed the students. "There are two types of studying," he said. "One is like a photographer who quickly snaps a picture of a garden. They capture the surface, the colors, the shapes of the flowers. It looks perfect, but it's only a shallow image. The first strong wind, a challenging question, and that image can blur or tear." He then looked at Ben. "The other is like a gardener. They dig into the soil. They learn about the nutrients, the weather, and the root systems. They understand why the garden grows. Their knowledge is deep and alive. When the storm of a difficult problem comes, their garden doesn't wash away. It thrives." This story is a perfect example of why a strong method beats a strong memory. For a video on how to build your own study garden, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post new content every week to help you succeed. Moral of the story: true success in study doesn't come from just memorizing the surface-level facts. It comes from the deeper, harder work of understanding concepts, making connections, and nurturing your knowledge like a gardener tends a garden. This creates learning that is flexible, strong, and able to handle any challenge.